Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode, this year's first episode of the Diz Unplugged, coming to you live from the Bob Varley Studio in Orlando, Florida. I'm your host, Pete Werner, joined at the table this week by some people I don't get to see very often anymore. John Magi.
Hi, everybody.
Kevin Close.
Hi, everyone.
Therese Eccles.
Hey.
John Sakari.
Hello, everyone.
A.K.A. Big Fat Panda.
Thank you.
From BigFatPanda.com.
Thank you.
And, of course, our producer, Daddy Craig.
Hello, ahoy hoy.
DaddyCraig.com. I would not Google that.
Oh, I would
not Google that either, yeah.
I would join the OnlyFans.
Gross.
And what? 2 minutes in, it's
With 2
already
minutes in,
uncomfortable.
it's already uncomfortable.
It's already uncomfortable.
But Happy New Year, everyone. Welcome to the show. Hope your New Year's Eve and New Year's Day were nice and safe. We're just sitting here having a conversation about who hasn't gotten COVID. I haven't.
I haven't either.
John and Kevin haven't. Knock wood. Yeah, it's nice to be back after our hiatus and have some things to talk about this week. But before we get to that, just a reminder, this show, along with all the content we produce, brought to you by DreamsUnlimitedTravel.com, experts at helping you plan the perfect Disney vacation. And just in the interest of full disclosure, John and I are owners in Dreams Unlimited, and the money that we make from Dreams Unlimited is how we pay our staff, how we pay for this studio, how we pay for all the stuff we do. So if you really want to show your support for us, best way to do that is book your next Disney World, Disneyland, Disney Cruise Line, Royal Caribbean, Carnival,
Viking.
Celebrity,
okay.
Come on, let's keep going.
Your vacation, your next vacation, through DreamsUnlimitedTravel.com. We appreciate that support.
A part of every sale we do goes to Pete's Sparkly Shirt Fund, so he can buy more sparkling shirts.
Yes, and they can't see the pants. The pants match, right? The pants are sparkly too.
I'm just happy you're wearing pants this time.
Yeah. Well, you know, the shot's only from nipples up, so I could really be naked from the waist down, and nobody would know. At least there. Okay.
Teresa loves.
We have any housekeeping before we get into talking about stuff?
I'll just mention some of our shows that we have in terms of when they'll come back. Universal will be back this week. Connecting with Walt will be back the third week of January, I believe. That's our audio-only episode. Still working on Off the Rails, but for the most part, you know, now that we're in the new year, we will be back to our normal lineup of shows.
Yes, we will. Hopefully. God willing. Okay, so not a lot going on in the news, but there were some things I thought we should talk about. Something that really struck me was that Bob Iger, right before Christmas, sent out an email to D23 members where, and I'm not going to read the whole thing, but basically it's how much we appreciate you, how important you are. The minute I saw this, I thought to myself, you know, I think we've been having more of an impact than I was giving us credit. Not us, as in this show, I'm talking about Disney fans. Having much more of an impact than I thought we were. You know, I've said it before. I have interacted with executives at Disney all the way up to the almost tippy top. And generally speaking, their attitude toward Disney fans has been respectful, but a little eye-rolling. You know, like, oh, the fans. And before he was ousted, Bob Chapek, I think this was back in October, Craig?
Yeah.
Back in October, before he was ousted, Bob Chapek held an off-the-record virtual roundtable.
In person.
Oh, it was in person. Oh, he actually showed up.
Yep.
Oh my God! I thought it was virtual. I figured he'd just like sit in Burbank and do this. Okay, that's even more so. Bob Chapek held a roundtable with members of the Disney influencer community. It was off the record, so we're not going to talk about what was talked about. I'm just talking about the existence of such a thing having taken place. It seemed that he was being visited by 3 ghosts in the middle of the night, and all of them were Disney fans. And when I saw this thing from Iger, I thought to myself, I think we had, between that off-the-record roundtable that Chapek had and this email that went out, they're concerned about what the fans are thinking right now. And I haven't let myself get too excited at the prospect that Iger will make some changes that the fan community has been asking for. Things like getting rid of the park reservation system, getting rid of Genie Plus, bringing back FastPass, bringing back annual passes. Things that we have been clamoring for, all things that were hallmarks of Chapek's tenure. But after this email came out, I'm like, I wonder. They're concerned about the fans. Well, you're going to have to do more than send an email, Bob. You're going to have to do more than send an email. If you want to blow a dog whistle that the fans are going to pick up, I just named 4 things you need to do. That's what needs to go. That's what needs to change. And while you're at it, if you want to drop the price on some things, because apparently this is one of the things Iger's been was really concerned about before he came back in, was that the prices were going up too much. It was getting too expensive. Now, he just came back in November. Wasn't expecting to hear anything by now. But I would imagine soon. Very soon.
I follow a lot of Disney information on Twitter. And there's another thing that seems to have fans upset. They're remodeling Disney hotels and Disney spaces, and they are dumbing them down to look like Ramada Inns. There's a new coffee shop on the boardwalk, the Carousel. And I've made this joke before. It looks like where you wait for your EKG.
It really does.
It is. There's a picture of the Carousel on the wall. Otherwise, it could be in any Midwest hotel, any mid-scale hotel. There's no theming to it. I saw something where they're redoing part of, I'm not sure if it was the yacht club or the beach club, but they took out that sort of colonial look. And it's very modern furniture. It's very much like what they're doing to a lot of the hotel rooms, with the vinyl flooring and the subdued colors. They're taking out the theming, and that's what people are willing to pay extra for.
Right. Oh, and this has been the thing. Disney was always more expensive than a comparable hotel somewhere else. It was always more expensive, but those touches, the theming in particular, is stuff people, especially fans, were willing to pay more for.
It's what gave you the feels.
Right. Exactly. Now this,
What I think is telling about this is this went out to D23 members. Am I full of lint? This went out to D23 members. These went out to people who are paying for a subscription to be a Disney fan. Didn't go out to everybody. Wasn't a blanket statement he made in general on,
well, if he's going to talk to the fans, it would make sense just politically that he'd go to
Well,
D23.
you could post it on Disney's website. Why wasn't DVC members given a separate
I think
thing?
DVC members were sent. I didn't receive one.
I didn't get one either.
Yeah, I only got one as D23, not DVC.
I think it speaks to what Disney's thinking about in their brains is that we're going to acknowledge and reward the people who are willing to spend more. This is how they're looking at this this product. spend more, and you get more of our attention.
Yeah.
Just saying.
I do think you have a good point, John. I think he could have reached out to a wider berth of people, including DVC and maybe even annual pass holder groups, stuff like that. There's definitely, I don't think he should have just cast it out to every single Disney fan and made it seem like that. That would be too far of an apology.
The fact, let's be real. We've been doing this for 20 plus years, okay? When was the last time the head of the company sent out something specifically to the fans, addressing the fans?
Because they're scared. Their stock price is tanked.
Right.
They're scared.
You know, Scrooge got visited by three ghosts in the middle of the night and turned over a new leaf on Christmas Day. I'm kind of hoping that's what's going on here. You know, the idea of doing this off-the-record roundtable with the influencer community, to the best of my knowledge, that was the first time anything like that ever happened.
Second time.
Second time?
Yeah, it happened at D23 Expo. There was a even smaller group than the one I was part of that was able to go and meet with him at Disneyland.
Was this the last D23?
Yeah, just this.
Okay,
this
so this is when he's hearing Chapek's hearing the branch creak under his feet. Okay, why not make that a regular thing? Once a year, once every 2 years.
I will say I believe that was the impression that we were given, that it was going to be a regular thing. I was at the one, as I posted about on social and saying here. I can't give any details, just impressions, and it did seem like he wanted to do them more often to get input from people he doesn't normally, but I can't say that necessarily as a fan community that he definitely wasn't in line with fans, as you could see from articles on CNBC and a lot of the bigger sites that were getting. He definitely had his mindset on which fans to listen to and which ones not to, in my opinion, from what I got as an impression of it.
Well, my thought is that they don't have the voice of fans in any real regard. I don't think they really pay attention. Like the executives making the decisions. I don't think they're watching social media. I don't think they're watching YouTube. I think there are people that report to them, maybe in their orbit, that do. You know, I know that Josh D'Amaro gets feedback from people that work for him. He doesn't watch this show, but he gets feedback from people in his orbit that do.
Somebody sends them a link, or
like the last time I saw him, he goes, "My staff tells me you don't love me anymore." I'm like, and so if you're on his staff and you're watching this, because a lot of the things we're talking about that are wrong with the parks right now, while Chapek is certainly responsible, so is Josh. So is Josh. This is happening on his watch. And so, and I know you're probably going to go back and deliver that message. Also deliver the message that I love him. Okay? This is a great guy. And I know he's a great guy.
And while he should be held accountable for some of it, I mean, when the news came out that he was considering stepping away from Disney because of everything happening with Chapek. I can't remember who was the original outlet that reported it, but they said D'Amaro was considering leaving the company with everything that was happening back then. So even if he has been pulling the trigger on something, he clearly does have somewhat of a conscience.
There's no. I can tell you, I know the man personally. I know him personally. He absolutely has a conscience. This is a good, decent, kind, thoughtful man. So I know that he's aware of this stuff. And I'm hoping that there is an opening for him now, with Iger coming back in, that there's an opening for him to make some changes. I'm hoping he hears these messages and that he carries them on to Iger and works these into some meetings, because there is no voice from this community in your orbit, except those of us that do shows like this. Generally speaking, the stuff that goes on social media. But that stuff is being filtered through people that eye roll when they talk about Disney fans. These are not people that are representing us as an important part, as an important cog in the wheel of what Disney is and what Disney does, because we are. And you dismiss your fans to your own peril. If you doubt that, just give Bob Chapek a call. Just give him a call, see how he's doing. Say Happy New Year. So I thought it was a good sign that this email went out. Now, could he have sent it to you? But this is what we do, okay?
Well, also,
they do something good, they do something that's positive, and they're like, well, they should have done this, and they should have done that. I thought this was a really good step in terms of acknowledge. Like, I don't care what because everything he says in this is blah, 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 blah. The existence of the email, the fact that it was sent out to the fan community, tells me that at least they're aware that we're not happy with you right now.
That's what I felt.
We're not happy with you right now. And if you want to make us happy, then sit down, shut up, open your ears, and hear what we're saying. Throw us a bone. Get rid of Genie Plus and bring back FastPass. Stop it with the annual passes already. Get rid of the park reservation system. Those are 3 things you could do right now that would change the narrative. Look, we're always going to bitch at you. We're always going to complain. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We're always going to. It's what we do. It's who we are. But you don't have to give us so much ammunition, I guess is my point. You don't have to make it so easy for us. I try and be fair about this stuff as much as I can. Chapek kind of took that out of the equation.
Do you think Walt was the ghost of Christmas past?
Oh, she's
Oh my God.
she's watching the movie in her head.
Well, I don't know, just pondering.
I think we're seeing the effects of many different things. We're seeing the effects of the stock price.
The stock price is
plummet.
horrible.
I think we're seeing, believe it or not, we're not seeing it, but believe it or not, the parks are not, the resorts are not filling up enough for 2023 for them. The cruise lines are not filling up enough for them. So I think we're seeing that effect come in, and that they're going to start. You know how they do. You know how it is. We've been around long enough. Oh, they don't want to hear from us, and they don't want anything to do with us. And then all of a sudden things get bad, and then they come back and they go, what can we do?
What can we do?
Oh, how can we help? What is it that we're not doing?
And there was no better example of that for me. No better example of that than when they got rid of Magical Express. And the internet freaking exploded with people upset. And they were like, I had conversations. Like, why are they so upset? I'm like, this is why you need these voices in your orbit. All of you making decisions at Disney. You need these voices in your orbit. Start paying attention. There's a million people that could have told you trashing Magical Express was a really bad idea. Because it's been, 2 years now, and people are still pissed off about it. People still talk about it. If you had the voice of fans in your orbit, that's something that could have been avoided.
You said something else. We bitch about everything. There are people online who are hysterical that there are new trash cans in Tomorrowland. And it carries that same emotional weight as Magical Express. They are livid over the fact that trash cans are new. So I think sometimes we need to take a step back.
We do, absolutely. As a
And-
community, we need to take stock.
I think the old expression is pick your battle. You cannot literally throw a fit on social media over the most inane minutia. This coffee shop comes to mind. Having an opinion is one thing.
Yeah, but it's with the coffee shop. I think it's a little bit different in that it's indicative of a larger issue where they're pulling the theming out of things, and like you said before, they're basically creating Ramada Inns.
Right. But I still think if you want to win a fight, back when I did customer service, the first thing you train a customer service rep on is listen to the complaints from the client. Fix the first one. And that will de-escalate the rest.
Yeah.
Always fix the first thing people are
Okay,
complaining
so
about.
of the list that I gave,
Top 5 fixes.
which one should they fix? What's the biggest one? When we talk about prices, we talk about park reservations. Park reservations?
Yeah.
Genie Plus.
Park reservations.
Genie Plus?
Reservation.
Price.
Price?
I would also say mobile ordering.
Craig?
For me, I would say probably park hopping, just because of how I handle it
Park
as a
hopping.
local. But I've been asking the chat, and park reservations always goes pretty much to the top. But a lot of Genie Plus.
So
in
get
there
rid of
too.
start out. Okay, fine. So here you go. Start out with that. Get rid of the park reservation system.
I also wanna
Eliminate it. Eliminate it. I understood it during
Do you think there's
the,
a chance they
the
will?
high.
No.
Absolutely, I think there's a
Really?
chance.
I don't believe so at all.
Me either.
I think during the height of the pandemic, it made sense because they actually did have to limit the
crowds.
number of people coming into the parks. They had to know how many in advance. They had to staff up for whatever was coming in, and they had to put a limit on it. You no longer are doing that.
Yeah, but they want that data. They want that
You know what?
information.
You have enough data from your point of sale terminals, from our magic bands. You have enough data. Disney has an entire division of their IT devoted to that, and it's like NSA level crazy bullshit stuff.
You know where they're never going to get rid of it? Disneyland. Disneyland crowds are just too high. They're never going to get
Fine,
rid
keep
of
it in Disneyland. Then get the hell rid of it in Orlando.
What I want to say is to what we both were talking about. I think the problem we've reached right now is that it's been a constant barrage of stuff, right? Disney with Magical Express, doing Genie Plus, paying for fast passes now, the equivalent of a fast pass, price increases, annual passes going away. I think the Disney fan community has finally tipped. The teeter-totter is tipped, and everyone's pissed, and everyone wants stuff fixed. And I think that's what we got to at this point. Is like, okay, you go ahead, abuse us today.
Yeah.
Smack us today, we're okay, change this one thing. But we finally got to the point where we're all just, enough is enough, fix stuff.
And I have clients that are done.
Yeah.
They're going to Universal.
We're
You're
They're
not
done.
the
We're
only
hearing it
one.
more and more.
They're done.
We're hearing it more and more. And you know what? I don't think Disney has taken Universal seriously. I don't think they have for a long time.
They might be now.
But no, I think when they will take them seriously is when Epic Universe opens.
We said these same things when Harry Potter opened. We've had the same conversation.
And they ignored that and then had to hurry up and do Avatar.
These conversations are cyclical.
Well, that's because
They keep doing bad things.
Disney
Stop doing bad things.
Disney is, the AA's definition of insanity is repeating the same behavior, expecting different results. Disney is insane, okay? They do the same thing over and over again, and they expect it to turn out differently because they are so entrenched in a certain mindset that they can't seem to break out of it.
Do you know the spin is? The spin is park reservations, Genie Plus, all of these things that they've done have made the park experience better. That's what they spin when they want us to sell more Disney and do more.
my
I think
gosh,
they're going to be
yeah.
hard pressed to find people that actually spend the money, who plan their vacations and go to Disney World. They're going to be hard pressed to find any of them that are going to say, "Oh yes, the park reservation system and paying extra for fast passes and all the other stuff
what I want.
made it so much better."
But that's the hard part, is they are telling themselves internally
Right.
that it's easier than ever now to plan a vacation because of all these tools that we've given you, not realizing that people were able to plan way easier for years and years up to it until they threw the wrench in.
This
You're
is
right.
why I
You
say
got
there's
it.
it's because there is no fan voice in their orbit, that they're in their echo chamber. They bounce this stuff. That's the third time I've had to catch myself before I curse. They bounce this stuff off each other. They feed into each other's preconceived notions, and they keep ending up in the same place. Except now, because you took it to a whole nother level when you put Chapek in charge, now your stock price is in the toilet. They had the worst year on record for their stock price in terms of losing value in 2022. And, I remember, I forgot when it was, but I remember on one show we talked about what it was going to take to get rid of Chapek, and I said, it's going to come down to the stock price. And that's exactly what ended up happening. The stock price is ultimately what did him in.
And we also have to acknowledge the fact that this is not just about parks and resorts and cruise line. This is about the media side of it, that he's completely messed up and done this weird thing too. This is the fact that the stuff that they're producing now is not making the money that it should be making. So this is not just parks and resorts. I think it's actually more heavy into the entertainment side.
It's entertainment side, and it's beyond that. It's what happened with Florida. I mean, if you read one story about stocks in Disney, go to the comments section, not from our site, from, again, CNBC, other Business Insider sites like that. You will not read a comment that does not involve the phrase "go woke, go broke" in terms of Disney. And there is still a big, massive group out there pissed off about Florida, but beyond that, with Bob Iger and how he was cozy with China before that. I'm not sitting here saying my politics with it. I'm just saying there's still a massive group out there that sees that.
I think my point is that we focus on parks and resorts and cruise line because that's our stuff mostly. But I think Chapek's problem was much bigger than all.
Well, I mean,
Way
a big
greater.
part of why the stock price is doing so poorly is Disney Plus, and the amount of money that has been spent on that versus the money they're seeing from it. That was a big part of what helped tank the stock last year. And so, but there's also no discussion about what's wrong with Disney. That doesn't include the fans aren't happy. Every article I've read,
We're also
where they're listing all the things Disney needs to change.
those big things like reservations and stuff that we don't like makes a big part of it. But also when somebody like Christine McCarthy says that the portions are going lower and they're charging more because Americans need to watch their waistline, little things like that go into your brain too that make you realize
That was so tone deaf.
to add on top of everything. So a letter like this gives me hope that they're going to be perceiving the perception. They're going to make their perception better of what the fans think. I mean, they know they have a problem.
Well, we're going to find out soon, because I don't think an awful lot of I don't think Iger is going to let grass grow under his feet.
I agree.
With this
he's
stuff.
he's got a reputation. He's got a motive to bring the company back and show that he can do it a second time.
And right now, you've got the fans on your side. The fans are on your side. Okay, we were thrilled that you're back. Thrilled. The fans are on your side. This is yours to lose, Bob. This is yours to lose. So, I am cautiously optimistic. After seeing that email, I thought, okay, maybe they're going to take that a little further than I thought they were going to, because I'm so used to them just rolling their eyes and ignoring the fans, because that's pretty much what they've done for a while, especially under Chapek. The fans simply weren't considered, and like I said, it wasn't until the branch was creaking under his feet that all of a sudden, oh, let me talk to the fans and see what they want. But too little, too late. Too little, too late. So, we love the product. We love the parks. We love the hotel. We love the cruises. We love the product. We love what you sell. We love your movies. Love your TV shows. Pay attention to what we don't love. We are the reason you are successful. Every single Disney fan, whether they have a website, a Facebook account, an Instagram account, or not, every single Disney fan is an influencer. Because they influence the people around them, the people in their circle, as to where to go. So when a friend comes up to you and says, I'm thinking about going to Disney, more and more I am hearing people say, they're telling them, don't go. Don't go. Either go to Universal or go somewhere else. More and more people are saying this. Fans, because we're the ones that our circle of influence comes to when they have a question about Disney, when they want to plan a trip to Disney. More and more, we're telling people don't go. Now, I'm not telling people don't go because I have a travel agency that requires people to go. But I've been very clear. I don't think you should go to Disney World. I think you should go on cruise line. I think it's the same money, and you get a better experience. You get old Disney service. You get old Disney quality and attention to detail on cruise line. And price it out. Next time you're planning a trip to Disney World, price out a cruise over those same dates. See how much of a difference there is in the price. And remember that the cruise includes all your entertainment, all your food, all that stuff is all included, which I think makes the cruise a better deal right now.
But like you say, service-wise, the cruise, they're cleaning your room twice a day.
Twice a day they clean your room.
Disney in a week, they're not cleaning it once.
Yeah,
Or they are
exactly.
doing it once.
That's another thing.
It's
Housekeeping.
just crazy.
Housekeeping. You know, the excuse was COVID.
Right.
Now, you just don't have that excuse anymore. You're requiring all of your cast members to be vaccinated. You no longer have that excuse. Now it's just about the money. You want to charge more for it and then take away housekeeping. The Ramada we were talking about earlier would have daily housekeeping. Although, to be fair, when I was out in Alaska, or when we were going to do the Alaska cruise back in August, we stayed at the Pan Pacific, which is
Primo.
a prime hotel, and they weren't doing housekeeping either.
Really?
They weren't doing housekeeping either.
I gotta tell you, we were just in Disneyland, and first of all, the cast members in Disneyland are unbelievable.
Aren't they great?
They are just superb. But we had daily housekeeping.
So they brought it back.
I guess I gotta be honest, I didn't really notice. I mean, it's
I
terrible,
know.
isn't it?
Land Hotel and the Grand California.
Well, the last time I was at the Grand Californian, I was getting daily housekeeping. I was staying concierge. I was getting daily housekeeping. I was talking to somebody else who was staying concierge, and she was complaining that she wasn't getting it. And I said to the concierge, I said, well, why am I getting it and she's not? And she looked at me and she goes, because you're you.
You're messy?
No, yeah, because I'm messy.
Terrible.
Because they know I'm going to talk about it.
Right. Well, that's wrong.
They didn't know I was going to talk about it, and we got daily housekeeping
I don't-
every day in both hotels.
I don't think anybody said, "Oh, look, they're here. We're gonna." I think we
See, I mean, I was there, this was when there was still like a mask mandate.
right.
You still had to wear masks and do all that stuff. But, wow, that conversation went on a lot longer than I thought it was going to go on.
Because of you.
Yeah.
It's because
And that wasn't really a conversation. That was a dialogue, or a monologue.
a monologue.
It's a monologue.
He did good. We all participated.
Well, I'm sorry if it didn't meet your standards.
Thank you.
But that's been on my mind for a while. That's been on my mind since the minute that email went. I'm like, damn, we're not doing shows. But okay, let's talk about some other stuff.
Let's talk about me.
Why, is there something about you we need to talk about? Okay.
No.
Okay,
not at all.
narcissist. So, well, you know what? Let's do some housekeeping. Or not housekeeping, rapid fire.
Well,
Let's
I want to say is, now that we've told you how bad Disney is, I have stuff to sell you. So let's do that. I'm going to leave this for you. Kevin's going to talk about our upcoming Backstage Magic trips we've got next year, and he's going to tell you about our dates and about our stuff. But
And that print is so big, I'm blind and I can read it from here.
I still need it should be bigger than that for me. But I want to also once again tease our Disneyland event. Big event out in Disneyland. I'm still working on the details, still putting everything together. We're marrying it with our July Backstage Magic, which ends on August 4th, 2023. So if you're wondering when it might be, August 4th, 2023. And we are going to work on things like the specifics of the event and how to sign up and all that good stuff. We're also going to get rooms. We'll get room blocks for that event for booking a reservation with us.
How much further has this moved from the time you first hinted
Much
about
further.
it? Oh, yeah?
Yeah, much further. I have no contracts yet. There's still a little stuff we're working on.
And just so everybody understands, I have no idea what's going on, okay? Because people that you do this stuff and then they come to me, oh, what's going on? What's going on? I have,
John won't tell me. So I want to say one more thing. If you go on our July Backstage Magic trip, you are invited to the party. You will have a ticket to the party. You won't have to pay to get in. A perk for that. And then as we release our room blocks, if you book a room with us, Dreams Unlimited Travel, you will be guaranteed a spot at the party, at the event, at the thing we're planning. So a couple of things to keep in mind. August 4th, 2023, Disneyland. We're working on some stuff. Please be patient. We will get you that information.
I've had people ask me about that, so glad you put that.
Yeah, people always ask me. They come in the office.
Yeah.
You know, John, what's he doing? I have no
Remember he
clue.
said something?
Right.
I live in the same house and I don't.
He doesn't know either.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, I don't know what the specifics are yet. I'm still working with Disney on exactly what it's going to be. So if I say today it's X, Y, and Z and it's not, I don't want people to be discouraged. So let us work it out. Let me figure it out. But I think what you need to do is put this on your calendar, get out to Disneyland. It's going to be great. It's going to be the 100-year celebration out there.
am I on that Backstage Magic?
Not yet.
Here's the deal. We always have 2 spots for you.
Okay.
And we wait to see what happens.
As I've told you before, you have a reputation. I wait till the last minute.
Okay.
Wow.
But if you don't want to do the Backstage Magic and you just want to come for the event,
He always
That could be
has
done.
a spot.
always has a spot. 2 spots. So I want to mention that, make sure I mention that. Please don't write to us. Please don't write to me. I promise
Wait to
you.
Teresa.
Right to Teresa. I promise you we will get the information out on the Diz boards, on the show. You know, we'll make sure you guys know well enough in advance when we're going to open up bookings and how it's going to work.
Sometimes I pretend I know with people, and it gets the excitement
Yeah.
going.
You should. You should just be
Yeah.
like, ooh, I know all
I
this.
know everything. You're going to want to be
All right,
there.
you want to talk about the Backstage Magics next?
Sure. We have 2 Backstage Magics for next year. We sold out our July trip, but one family who had an amazing amount of spaces on the trip backed out.
Oh.
So,
How many spaces did they have?
9,
12.
12.
12.
And they canceled all of them.
Wow.
So, I know that people wanted to go on this trip. They wrote to me. I told them it was sold out, and I told them if we had space available, we would open it up via the podcast. I do not have a full trip, but I have a good number of spaces on the Backstage Magic. Right now,
And what are the dates?
July 30th through August 4th. August 4th should be a big date in your head because John made a big deal out of it. Right now, John and I are signed up. I'm not looking at Pete. And then the pricing for this, for a double, triple, or quad per person is $39.99. $1 short of $4,000 a person. If you're a single, it's $5,599. $5,599. And children are $37.99. I have less than half of the space available. I assume it's going to go quick.
Especially after John, yeah.
Right. The second date is October 1st through October 6th. There are no parties associated with that. But
Yet.
Yet. Don't start trouble you don't want to handle.
That's true.
Yeah, really. Your mouth can't write checks, your body can't
Because
cash.
when they write to me, I'm sending them to you.
All right.
The park will be decorated for Halloween. It's always a great time to go. There's a great deal of space on that trip, so we'd love you to go with us. Those are the pricing's the same. For a couple, it's $4,000 a piece, minus $2. So if you want to go, let me know. I have space.
And how do they reach you?
I would write to John. Kevin at dreamsunlimitedtravel.com.
We'll also have a link in the show notes. I sent it to Craig already for
already
booking
in there.
these. I want to remind everybody this is also going to be during the 100th anniversary celebration, which focuses on Disneyland. Really is centric out there. So it's going to be new parades, new fireworks,
New merch.
new stuff. So it should be a lot of fun. And then we also want to answer one more. We also want to mention one more thing that we're selling.
Botchagaloop the peddler over here.
Amway, isn't it?
Botchagaloop.
I'm going to put you on Ditto Delivery.
We've
Avon.
mentioned several times we've got a celebrity Apex sailing that's going to Jerusalem and Egypt in 2023.
It is round trip out of Athens.
Correct.
So the airfare is easy.
It is a 10-night. They're calling it an Eastern Mediterranean, but we're considering it a Egypt-Jerusalem trip. It is October 16th of 2023. I just did a quick thing where I was looking at pricing, and staterooms are selling out fast. This is not a group we're putting together specifically, but if you book through Dreams Unlimited Travel, we will add you to our group, and what that means is that at the end of all of the processes, we'll be able to do stateroom amenities.
And I definitely will not be able to do that cruise.
Oh, what are you doing?
Because I'm doing the Trans-Pacific to Sydney from Honolulu, and that's my honeymoon.
And what date is that?
It's early October.
Oh, you can come right to this.
Yeah.
This is mid-October.
So it's bad enough. I already made Gio take the month of October off from work. Because between getting married and our honeymoon, we're going to do a week in, we want to do a week in Alani, and then pick up the cruise, and that's almost 2 weeks. I want to spend some time in Sydney while I'm there.
We've done the Trans-Pacific cruise
It's a
from
great,
Sydney.
it's a great cruise.
You get to stop at some cool islands.
That's the whole thing, is I always wanted my honeymoon to be somewhere. I wanted Fiji involved in my honeymoon.
Can I make a suggestion to you? Because I know you. The first stop you're probably going to make is Moorea. And everybody in Moorea brings out a card table and sells you black pearls. Buy them in Moorea. Because every stop you stop on the way to Hawaii, they get exponentially more expensive.
It's more expensive. Okay.
I know this from personal experience.
You do. I want to real quick mention some pricing. I know, Teresa's head's going to explode. There's limited staterooms available on this cruise. They're going fast. Inside stateroom, $4,184.78 for 2 adults. You get a $400 shipboard credit from Celebrity and a $100 shipboard credit from Dreams Unlimited Travel. Similar cost for an ocean view, $4,984.78, $4,984
That's for 2 people.
for 2 adults.
That's
Correct.
for a 10-day cruise.
Right.
That's not expensive.
On a
Unfortunately,
celebrity ship.
if you want a balcony stateroom, the price jumps because a lot of them are sold out. There's a Sky Suite, and that's $15,259 for 2 adults. But I want to mention that with that, from Celebrity, you get a $1,250 shipboard credit, and from Dreams, you get a $350 shipboard credit, and this includes the retreat amenities. So expensive, but again, Kevin mentioned 10-night sailing, excellent ports, excited to do it.
And if you want a balcony stateroom, even though John's telling you they're sold out today. That inventory changes pretty quickly. Yeah. If you want to work with one of our travel agents, go ahead and work with them, and they will keep an eye on this for you. And you talk about service on a Disney ship. I think service on a Celebrity ship is the best I've ever had.
I agree.
I think the food is the best I've ever had.
Really?
All right, time for me to fold up my folding table and stop selling my wares.
All right, and Kevin already did yours?
I did mine.
You want to talk into the microphone?
Not really. I was handed paperwork and told what to say.
Okay.
Jesus.
Teresa, what about you?
I don't have anything.
No rapid fire?
You should have yielded your time back to me.
What, because we're on the floor of the Congress?
Ta-da.
Of the House of
Take it
Representatives?
back. Sorry.
yield
I
the
looked and I
balance of my
couldn't find
time.
He'll be
anything
recognized.
worthy that I thought you would want to hear. So
You want to tell folks about gift baskets?
we.
Yes, I do.
Yes, I do.
Here, read this.
I'm not going to read that. No, Dreams Unlimited Travel, when you book with Dreams, any cruise line, and you live in the United States or Canada, you get a gift basket built by my wonderful team at the port.
Built by these two hands.
Right, these two hands. Point to people and make them build the baskets. And if you live out of the country, you can stop by and visit and pick up your gift basket there.
Let folks know how far in advance we're sending them out.
Right now, we're about 3 weeks out.
3 weeks before sailing.
3 weeks before sailing. So if you're selling at the end of January, you're going to get your gift basket within the next 10 days probably. And yeah, so it's so exciting. Every stateroom gets a gift basket. And if you stop by, I have special gifts for you too. Special
She
gifts.
has to ply people to spend time with her.
I've seen where they make the gift baskets, and it looks like the Wonka when they're looking all for the ticket. It's like 1,000 people just making baskets.
Is that what it is?
Yes, I have Oompa Loompas out there
They're all short
building.
and orange.
No, think about like the Tesla manufacturing. We have robot arms putting stuff in baskets.
Is that what we have?
Yep.
Wow.
The staff out there is going to be happy to hear that.
No, it's just the three of us. I point and tell them what to do, and they do it. It's fun. Stop by.
All right. Thank you, Teresa.
We kind of discussed mine already, which was I went and did a little video for us for the Carousel Cafe. Is that what it is? And I really was surprised by how just bland it was. But aren't they redoing the boardwalk? And could that be why they didn't? Aren't they doing something else to the boardwalk?
Yeah, they are. They announced it sometime in December. I can't remember the exact time, but yeah, Boardwalk, the lobby's getting a refresh, just like Grand Floridian lobby's getting a refresh. The Boardwalk rooms are getting refreshed as well too, which they need it over Christmas. As we were on hiatus, I released one of the room tours that we did with our 7 and 7 that never actually happened, and like as I was watching the video of the rooms as Rhino was walking through, they were just so hideously gross and old. So the Boardwalk needs love, but I'm not. They might have gone a little too far in the opposite direction with, clean lines and a modern look to it. But maybe the lobby will be better.
Well, I mean, clean lines and a modern look on a resort that is supposed to be themed after a turn of the 20th century seaside resort doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
Yeah. And we know it can be done in a good way, and recently. I know it's been 8-10 years now, but Abracadabar is so cool to be in.
It is.
And it's such a nice spot and fits in with the theming of all the boardwalk. Well, obviously, Flying Fish is a beautiful restaurant. Like, all the restaurants that are at the boardwalk are done really well and do have still that nice little touch of theming to it. So it's not impossible for the rest of the resort.
So you opened up a new coffee shop and made it look like a hospital coffee shop. And you're going to wait to redo the rest of the resort to decorate it? Makes no sense to me.
They have the seating area across the way. There's just nothing there. It's just seats and a bare wall. And maybe they're going to address it when they
Do you
redo
think
the
they
lobby.
rushed this?
Oh yeah.
Well, isn't there a carousel bar somewhere? Where's the carousel bar? Is it in Disneyland?
It might be.
And it looks like a turn of the century carousel. And I think so. You've already had this idea. You didn't do a good job with this one.
And it's nice to have the coffee there. Let me tell you, they're great machines, great coffee, great people, baristas crafting it. It's
From
just
the Northeast.
Yeah, Long Island.
He says coffee.
Coffee,
Coffee.
water, coffee.
Like I say, I don't see a problem.
K-A-W-F-E-E.
There's no problem with it.
I say it sounds
But
right to my ear.
I hear my people.
It's over coffee.
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 No.
Coffee.
It's not.
Coffee.
It's coffee.
Coffee talk.
It's coffee talk I want you should know.
What you
Go ahead, Tom.
So no, it did feel like it felt like I was waiting for the doctor to visit and
That's right.
tell us how
What kind
Aunt
of
Emma
food do they
was.
have?
It was just
Coffee.
cupcakes, biscuits, and muffins.
Was it anything specific for that location?
Nothing.
that's
Biscuits or
disappointing.
cookies?
So in other
Cookies,
words,
and
there
just
is
biscuits.
nothing at all special about this location.
No, and they even took away because the sundries that were there was refrigerators and things like that. Which is it now? Just the screen door is supposed to be for sundries.
Probably.
Probably, yeah.
So you no longer you have to go out now onto the boardwalk to get stuff that you want. But if you want coffee, it's
Okay, I just want to say I'm going to jump in here. If you're out in Disneyland and staying at the Disneyland Hotel, they have a coffee shop. They have killer bagels.
We kind of fell in love with Disneyland again this trip.
Really?
It was, first of all, I apologize, Panda, for taking your time.
Oh, stop! I'm
Yielding
done.
back
We
your
talked
time.
about.
He does that all the time.
You've mentioned this many, many times. Every part of the parks is decorated for Christmas. Absolutely spectacular. The Disneyland Hotel, while I'm not crazy about where it's located, is one of the best themed hotels. The way it's sort of the nostalgia of it
They've
and
done
what they've
this sort
done.
of mid-century modern thing.
They've
It's
redone
really
the
nice.
lobby and stuff. So we kind of fell in love with Disneyland.
Do you remember the ring I bought in Disneyland our first trip back in 2000? The diamond ring I bought at the Jewel of Orleans. It was.
Oh yeah. I remember. Yeah, it was like in the antique.
That
place.
was what I gave Gio when we got engaged. That was the ring I gave him, and I'm amazed it fit his finger.
meant to be.
Yep, meant to be. All right, Craig, do you have anything for rapid fire?
I yield the floor.
I should go last next time.
You should. I wish I had more to talk about. I will admit I have not been. I went to the parks once over Christmas just because been spending a lot of time hanging out with the baby and working on the computer, and so yeah, I feel like I'm out of the loop. I've got to get back
All right, let's-
into Disney.
I have a question. When is baby's first trip to Disney going to be?
He will get his shots in another couple weeks because he's already at 7 or 8 weeks. He's at 6, 7. I'm losing track of it. Kylie's going to kill me for that. Once he gets his shots, then we'll start introducing him more into
Like
the world
Kylie's
right
taking
now.
the time to watch this show right now.
You would believe, I would believe that she would be doing that. I mean, she probably misses me. I
Oh
think.
my God!
Oh Lord!
I think that, but
Please leave, Craig.
Let's call Kylie.
No, you can multitask with the baby and have this on in
Yeah.
the background, right?
I mean, she was watching Hulu before, so I'm assuming she's going to make the effort to turn that off and go to YouTube and all of that. But I'm
you
not
saying
sure.
Kelvin's not watching because he misses you?
Please. So last night I was on Facebook, and one of our servers we had on a cruise that I took last year, we're friends on Facebook. So he messaged me, "How are you? I'm back in Peru, blah, 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 blah." And he sent me a picture of himself. I went back, had to find a picture of myself, and Kelvin was in the picture. "I didn't believe you had a husband," he said. "I've never seen a picture of him on Facebook or anything." I said, "He's real." He said, "You don't need him because I don't know. He was trying to talk me out of ditching my husband of 34 years for some reason. I don't know. But anyway, I just thought it was funny
For some reason, we can only imagine.
Kelvin's,
For a waiter in Peru,
he's building a new house.
the bar's low.
Yeah, really.
I just thought it was funny because, no, Kelvin doesn't watch this. I told him 3 times.
See,
that
I
was-
got to watch what I say because Gio does watch.
Yeah. No,
Not
Kelvin
that
doesn't
there's
watch.
anything I would say that would upset him, but Gio does watch every week. I don't think he's watching today because he's up in Boston.
No. I'd tell him 3 times, where are you going? "I'm on the show today."
What show?
What show? Oh my God. I can cuss on the next
Really,
show.
at
right?
this point, he doesn't know what you're talking about. when
No,
you say
he
the
knows.
show?
He just, I know you never told me. No, I told you 25 times, and it's on the calendar. So
We used to be much better trained than we are now. We had to get out of the house at 11:30 this morning. We haven't had to do that in a long time, and it was rough.
Oh well, you should have had my morning then. I didn't go to bed until about. I'm so surprised I'm sitting upright because I've had about, I don't know, maybe 3 hours of sleep. Went to bed around 2:30, 3 o'clock, and I think it was around 5:30. My alarm goes. The house alarm goes off. I think it's a burglar alarm. Now my bedroom is almost a safe room. It's got a solid core door and a double lock. So, if the alarm goes off, the alarm company calls and dogs are freaking out. And she's like, "We're calling because, your alarm is going off." I'm like, "Just call the police. Send the police to the house because I'm not opening this door if there's somebody in the house." She's like, "It's not a burglar alarm. It's her fire alarm." I'm like, "Oh my God."
well, you better open the door. Oh wait,
So
feel it first.
I opened the door. No, I was half asleep. I'm running through this house, and she's like, "It's the hallway smoke detector." So I'm in here. I'm in the guest bedroom. I'm like, "No, there's no smoke. There's no smoke at all." I said, "That's weird. It would just go off like that." I said, "So it's a false alarm. Go ahead and cancel it." And Everything's fine. And whenever I sleep, the alarm is on. So I arm the alarm, just thinking it was a freak accident.
It goes off again.
I go back to bed. Just as I'm falling asleep, it goes off again.
What was it?
We have no idea. Must be something.
Dog
wrong
in
with
the hall
smoke
closet smoking.
detector. There must be something wrong with the
Abby.
smoke detector.
You've seen
Open
that
the closet. There says Daisy.
You've seen that picture of the dogs playing poker with
Yeah.
the cars.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So that was my morning. I've had about 3 hours of sleep.
Wow. Me too. But I was watching.
Alarms?
Yeah, but they specifically told me that a battery would not cause it to go off.
Oh, it makes ours go off.
Oh, it's a ghost.
But he's got like a central system. You don't have just the independent smoke detector. This is great Disney content, isn't it, ladies
Yeah.
and gentlemen?
Well, I mean, it's a good lesson to everyone out there. It's the new year. Change your smoke detector batteries.
That's true.
We
Carbon
do it-
monoxide.
We do it fall forward, pass out backwards, whatever that rhyme is.
Spring ahead, fall back.
Oh, okay.
You weren't going to tell him about the pass out stuff.
So, all right,
my.
that's 2 o'clock. That's it. That's an hour. For
Clocking out.
For our Patreon supporters, stay
Right.
tuned. We'll have our after show coming up right after this. If you're interested in joining us on Patreon, patreon.com/DizUnplugged. Probably should have said that at the beginning
How do
of the
you
show.
cancel Patreon if you don't want it anymore?
Don't advertise that.
Well, I just
Well, people
wondered.
join.
I have no idea.
Okay.
I have to talk to somebody else.
Okay.
It's a below his pay grade.
Yeah, really.
You have to fill out a form in triplicate.
So anyway, that's going to do it, folks, for our show. We hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you again next week with another episode of the Diz Unplugged. Have a great week, everyone, and remember, stay out of the damn lakes.